Marshall skips away. Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test champions.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the TGIF podcast. Thank God it's footy. Our first episode in a while where we don't have any footy games to talk about as such, rugby league games, but plenty going on in the world out there. Cricket World Cup's just teed off in pretty emphatic fashion for a few countries, Black Caps included.
Yep, no, there's plenty going on in the sporting world. Plenty going on in the world in general, as always. You know, there's always things going on in the world.
Election day's coming up.
Get your votes.
Get your votes
in, lads and ladies. Get on down to your local voting poll. You went out there just earlier on.
Yeah, probably an hour and a bit ago.
Yep, chucked in your votes. You get a sticker?
Nah, I didn't get a sticker.
No sticker, so did he vote? Who knows? I mean, it's, that's kind of your official passport to saying I've gone out there and I've put my say into how I want this country to be run. Those stickers, important piece of memorabilia. Got that little orange bloke on it, I believe. Sort of stickman looking fella.
The election bloke. Yeah.
Not the electoral.
I don't know, he could be the election bloke as well.
I thought you said electric.
He's just the vote bloke, bro. He's on...
Relative of Countdown, Pack and Save Stickman, I believe.
Yeah, mates, at least.
Yeah, mates, same sort of...
Cousins?
Same sort of species, genus. Something along those lines. But no, get your votes in. Get out there.
100%.
If you want to do it, the OG way, get out there on Saturday. Do it on the day.
Tackle the crowds.
I remember my first day getting out there and getting that big orange sticker. Vauxhall Primary School, I believe, was where I placed my first vote. I think that was with you. Was that not? Was that correct?
2014, was it?
Yeah, I believe we went Vauxhall Primary and placed the vote. But no, election. We've got Cricket World Cup. We've unfortunately got a little bit of international break. The worst time in the football calendar. NBA preseason starting up. Shout out the Wizards going out there and pumping the Cairns Taipans with a big win. So plenty going on in the world, plenty going on in the sporting world. But no league, no footy to sink your teeth into. Some good news for coming out of the Tigers camp today. Twiley signing on again, which is awesome.
Yeah, good signing for the Tigers. I was pretty shocked when I heard they were shopping him around, sort of field offers elsewhere to see what he could get, but locking down probably one of your better performers over the last couple of years.
100%. So, give me a shucker before out the bus there. So shout out Twiley. Good to have you signed on. I guess we'll have another little look over a few teams, how their seasons went. Continuing our theme from starting at the bottom, starting off with our losers. We make our way to the Doggies, now sitting in there at 15th.
Not the best season.
Not the best.
Again. Slightly better, obviously, than the Dragons and Tigers on the table in terms of points, I suppose.
Yeah, only just. I think the main positive for them that you've got there, I agree with that. Avoiding the spoon. That's the big plus for them this season. They obviously made some signings there in the off season last year, and strengthened that squad a little bit more. And people would have had higher expectations, I think, of the Doggies last year or this year. Sorry, just been. So I think avoiding the spoon is probably their biggest plus that you can take from the season that's just gone.
Yeah, not a lot of positives for the Doggies there. They won a few a few games here or there, a few good performances scattered throughout the season. But
some games, like...
Some games, yeah, it was just ridiculous. And particularly sort of middle to the end of the season, they just... Yeah, like... They had the worst points difference and the worst defence in terms of points scored. So, yeah, worrying signs for the Doggies there. And some of those signings that did come in that you mentioned, they probably didn't seem to produce anywhere near the levels that they had done prior to their signings.
Yeah, it's tough coming from some of these teams that
that's the thing.
They come from.
You come from the likes of Penrith with Kikau and Burton.
Yeah.
And, the Storm with Adokar and
you come out to the setup, expected to just, come in and take over.
It's definitely a tough ask.
Yeah.
Bulldogs side that does struggle, but yeah, hopefully the likes of Stephen Crichton, Blake Taff coming in next year can help patch up a few more holes for them.
Critter's a big signing for
X-Factor,
them. Huge. And
named to play in the halves for Samoa this weekend.
Has he?
Yeah,
first,
number 6.
Is this the first round of it this weekend? Is it?
Yeah.
Is that one in New Zealand? Is this in Australia?
I think it's in both. This round's in Australia because there's it's Samoa.
It's a little bit. Yeah, but do we play this weekend as well then, or not till next weekend?
Yeah, I think we play either Samoa or Australia next weekend.
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I've got that concert, I think.
I think we play Samoa in New Zealand, maybe Australia in Australia, and then the finals in Hamilton.
Yeah. Oh, that could be quite
So,
cool.
yeah.
FMG, good game down there. We've had that experience. Bring a helmet, bring some headgear, I guess, if you're into FMG. Watch out for the Mexican waves. But no, back to
the Bulldogs,
back on those
Doggies. Stephen Crichton, as we said, coming in. Big signing for them.
Felt sorry for him, seeing him, grab that third ring there, knowing that was his possibly last grand final appearance for a wee while if he's in there to the Doggies, Obviously been involved in that Penrith setup there for a while and, an integral part of that team runner that they've got there, So yeah, huge signing for the Doggies, and I'm sure Doggies fans will be stoked to see what he can do. And like you said, Blake Taff as well will be a handy little acquisition too.
Yep, I suppose the Doggies, it can only go up from here, similar to our two clubs. Hopefully, we see a bit more of a competitive performance from them week to week. Wouldn't mind slipping above them on the table.
I'm more than happy for them to, just
take that spoon next year.
Take that spoon off us. More than happy to pass it on to them. Have us leapfrog. Maybe a few more leapfrogs ideal as well. But I think for Doggies fans, they'll be hoping that they can, you say it quite a lot of the time.
Write it off, I suppose.
It's about starting that season strong. They'll be hoping to go out there next year if they can get under, get underway early. Get on a bit of an early run. We might see a different Doggy side. They've definitely got the potential there. And if they can keep bringing in players like this, maybe they're a couple years away, maybe.
Yeah, Gus has usually done a pretty good job at putting a team together as a coach or GM there at the Panthers. So wouldn't be surprised to see them continue to pick up these good signings and develop that team. But I suppose it's a long way off at the moment, judging on 2023's performance. And then rounding out our bottom 4, the Gold Coast Titans.
Another team, I guess, people probably slightly disappointed with the way that their season's going, having some of the big names that they've got. You think of the two that stand out to you straight away, Fafita and Tino. To have two players like that in your team and be finishing in the bottom 4, probably not really where you want to be.
Yeah, I think they should have probably done a lot better with the roster they had. They were a bit unlucky with injuries at times. missed a lot of footy this year. Brimson and Campbell were injured at different stages. But the likes of Tino and Fafita, they'll be stoked to have at least locked them down on long-term deals there. Particularly Tino. How long's his deal again? Another
10 years, I believe it
10
was.
years.
I think it was another 10-year deal.
Yeah, so pretty crazy stuff there. But look, when they were on, they took on some of the best in the comp. You think of taking down the Broncos in one game.
That game against the Storm. Yeah, they won, what was it,
38, 34 or something?
30, I was going to say 36, 32, something like that, high-scoring 30s game. They played some pretty awesome footy at stages, you know, and you've got two X-Factor players like that.
Yeah, Foreign had some pretty awesome games as well. Some pretty gun outside backs as well, I think. But just couldn't string enough of those performances together to stay in the fight long enough, I suppose. They were there or thereabouts for the majority of the season, but just sort of slipped away a bit at the end, I thought. I mean, the only worrying sign that I sort of have for them is that lack of consistency. Obviously, when they produce their best performance, they can take on the best of them, but they stringing that together 15 or 20 times a season.
It seems to be like the case, I think, for a lot of those, you know, teams down the bottom there, whether it's, you know, stringing together 2 or 3 games in a row or, you know, playing 80 minutes. I think a lot of the time it was that too, you know, go out there and have a solid
really
half,
good half that game against the Dolphins.
You know, and then completely fall away, you know, in the second, or, you know, start poorly and then, you know, be 30 points down and end up losing 30-26 or something like that, you know. So it's about putting those, you know, two halves together, playing for the whole 80 minutes. And, you know, I think, you know, like you said, this re-signing of those two there adds a lot of confidence in whether or not that they can sort of bring anyone else in to, you know, go alongside with that. You said Kieran Foran there, obviously brings a hell of a load of experience, you know, so
hopefully they can keep him fit for, is it one more season he's got there on his deal, I think?
Not too sure.
But I think that's sort of one area they could look to. I suppose there's a lot of teams that are missing that real game managing half, but it seems to be a problem for Gold Coast over the last few years. They've certainly got the X factor there. It's just someone to steer them around and capitalise, I suppose, send the boys in the right direction, because Fafita seemed to have a really good season, I thought, on the same age as Foran there.
He had an awesome year for
not only doing normal Fafita stuff, which is freaky, but really seemed to, you know, do a bit of the shit stuff this year.
But getting boot to ball as well.
Yeah, that's a huge
That
one.
has kind of, I think, highlighted
one of the highlights of the season. Yeah. Actually, speaking of forwards
getting boot to ball.
Portugal?
Lock.
Yeah. And against Aussie, Fiji.
Bloody awesome, eh?
Yeah.
The old chip and chase, the bounce was perfect.
And then, did you see the flanker do a clearing kick?
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
Because they're good.
A couple of forwards, I think.
Yeah. Oh, it's awesome.
Kicks there for Portugal, but I suppose a footballing nation.
Yeah, a couple of footballing players, you know,
maybe they grew up
switching codes,
football,
maybe.
Too big and lanky to play football, too big and strong, kept giving away fouls, so they decided to change to rugby. But good on the Portuguese. But we'll touch on a bit of Rugby World Cup later. Back to the Titans. Desi Hasler comes in next year as coach, so whether or not we see a bit of a change in the way they play, I don't think so, but who knows what Des comes in, and is he able to weave his magic that he so often did. Got a lot of teams to the grand final throughout his Manly and Doggies years.
He's had some very successful years, that's for sure.
Wouldn't be surprised to see him come around and book them a ticket in some finals footy. over the next couple of years, I reckon.
Yeah, no,
roster.
I can see them doing well under Des, that's for sure. Knows how to get a team into the finals, knows how to, go well when it comes to finals footy as well. So, I think, like we said, whether they can string a few good games together in a row, if they can play those 80 minutes, put teams away rather than, crumbling away or having to chase a game, things like that. We may be able to see that Titans team finally crack that, that finals footy, go well in finals footy possibly, but maybe again some of the doggies a couple more years, maybe see what Dizzy can do this year. But I think the two, like we said, biggest positive, re-signing those two.
Yep.
And then Dizzy coming in as well. Those two will definitely help them going into next year.
100%.
What do we say? We said, did we go 2 Fs last week?
Yeah, I'd say the doggies get an F and Gold Coast maybe a D, a D plus.
People don't do E's, do they? There's no such.
There's no E.
Why is that? It makes no sense to me.
I think it might be because I don't know. I have no idea. You probably have to Google that.
It makes no sense. I'd be close to saying a D minus.
A D minus, yeah, that's probably fair.
A D minus.
I mean, at stages they produce some A plus performances, but on the whole, you come in bottom 4 with.
We bet the Cowboys. What was it, 60-16? That's an A plus performance, and we came dead last. So.
You can't give them much more than a D.
I'm saying D minus. At a stretch, sort of like a D, comma minus, kind of maybe like a D minus plus. You know what I mean?
Sort of.
At most.
You had a few things that
you got a high D minus. You're on the
cusp, but we can't quite give it to you.
We can't lock it up. But there you go, an F and a D minus plus. I'd be happy to lock in an E if we had E's.
If there was such thing.
If there was such thing, yeah. But we'll figure that out. See why that is.
See what the reason is. Maybe it's something to do with it gets confused with excellent.
I don't know if the old achieved merit excellence was rocking way back in the old days.
Definitely not.
I don't think NCA had the power back then,
the worldwide
worldwide domination, in terms of
and
schooling
penetration,
into
the schooling markets. Maybe not. Yeah, I was just trying to come up with something. We'll see what it is. I suppose after the show
we'll have a little look. But there we are. We're going F and a D minus plus.
Yeah.
F for the doggies, D minus plus for the Titans. And we'll have another look at a few more teams next week, but we'll jump ship for a little bit. We'll swap codes. We'll have a little look at the round ball. Now, 2 games there for the Gooners over the last week or so that we've since we've last spoke to you. You look at the 2 fixtures. You hear that you've had a win and a loss. You're probably thinking you've gone out there, had a good, 3-4-0 win in the Champions League and then maybe been, kind of humbled by City. If you swap that around, it's the reality, and to be fair, I'd take it.
Yeah, shows you what the beautiful game can do to you, I suppose. The emotional roller coaster it can take you on, particularly as an Arsenal fan. Bit of a shock to the system going out there and losing to Lons really, but I thought they played awesome. They were super hungry throughout the entire game, whereas we sort of matched with them a little bit early, but definitely not for the whole game. Whether or not we might have had one eye on the City game there, no one really wanted to get injured or something like that, but unfortunately Bukayo Saka did go down injured early on in that one, which was a bit of a bummer. Thought that was going to definitely rule out the advantage we may have had going into that City game, but Lons will I suppose forget it. I think we can hopefully bounce back. It's early doors in the Champions League.
Doors,
there.
2 games in.
2 games in. We've already picked up 3 points, so hopefully
Newcastle went out there and got the one over on the French there the next day with that big win over PSG. So they had our backs. We'll be out to get them next time, I'm sure. We've obviously got the reverse fixture there later on in the year, so I'm sure we'll be looking to bounce back with a win in that one. But I think, like you said, early doors. Second, I believe we're still sitting there in the table anyway in the Champions League. I think that puts Lens above us in first. Was it? Are they on
drew?
I think they drew with Sevilla, and they must be on 4.
What happened with Sevilla and PSV?
Have a little look see.
That 4 goal cushion might help us.
But like you said, 2 games in, it's it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I mean, Lens almost won the French league last year as well, so.
But they're having a terrible season this year in the league.
Yeah, that is true.
But, a lot of pressure on them, when they're having that back in the Champions League there. So, Lens are on 4, Arsenal 3, Sevilla 2, PSV 1.
Oh, yep, so they drew Sevilla and PSV, okay. Sevilla just sacked their manager, didn't they?
Not sure. I know that Rooney's just been appointed
Birmingham
manager, and I saw a predicted lineup if he could get his friends involved.
Oh, God.
And they had De Gea in goal. You had McTominay in the midfield. Was it Januzaj maybe even? Benteke up top. Not going to happen. Benteke's not going to go play for Birmingham. I'm sorry. Surely he wouldn't do that. He'd be hated at Birmingham, Benteke.
Yeah,
and there was someone else as well, and I thought, wow, Johnny Evans maybe, I think it might have been. So just all these players from United, but because they've got Tom Brady and owning them now, so they've got all this money. But I don't know about their manager, but I did see Rooney.
John Eustace was sacked, and they brought in Wazza.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool to see. But no, I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll bounce back. 2 games in, sitting in second. Nothing too wrong with that. And you definitely take it to go out there and get a first win up against City for how long? What?
8 years since 2015. So long streak of L's against City finally reversed. I believe the last win we had against City
Arteta
was the
scored
game
86th minute as well, like Martinelli.
Right.
Well, that might have been 10 years ago.
I think that was, because the last game, that 2015 one, I'm pretty sure was the 2-1 that Jaden went to.
Oh, okay.
Shout out Jay.
Shout out Jay.
Catch this.
We had what? Yaya Toure scored a
pretty left
stuck his foot out.
It was like Walcott and
Giroud both scored screamers. Or someone scored a screamer.
Cazorla maybe?
No, Walcott and Giroud, because Jay bought a Walcott top and a Giroud top.
Yeah.
And both players scored. And all 3 goals were scored at his end. And I'm pretty sure one of either Jay will be able to confirm this. One of either Giroud or Walcott scored a screamer, but Yaya Toure's goal was nuts.
Yeah, it was nuts. He just stabbed his left foot at it. But yeah, shout out Jay. Maybe shout out Yaya Toure, I suppose, since we did manage to win that game. It was a pretty goal, stabbing his left foot at it. But yeah, for the first time since then, we managed to beat City. It was a strange old game. Definitely a top of the table clash, sort of maybe of old, where the defences were both on top rather than the attacks. Both teams sort of a little bit sloppy in that final third with their passing and their shooting. No sort of real clear-cut chances for either side, apart from maybe that one for Ake early on for City.
Yep.
where he blasted it over the top.
I think it was, like you said, definitely a case of the defences. Saliba and
Saliba and
was
Gabriel managed to shut down Haaland so well.
The last 2 times we've played City, he's had 0.00 expected goals.
Which I suppose also comes with the fact that De Bruyne is missing.
That's definitely plays a big part. I think we're lucky that he was out, but they were lucky, to be not down to 10 men themselves. I think,
Yeah, look, even that first challenge from Kovacic, I thought, the VAR's looking at this. He's hit him with his stance. It's like it's not flush with the ground, like his foot's bounced up a bit. That could be a red, and then I thought, okay, yellow card, all right, whatever. That must be right on the line of a red anyway. And then to 3 minutes later, do the exact same tackle on Declan Rice, and the referee miss it. I just thought that was,
real lucky. That
very lucky for Man City. Would have definitely changed the game, but look. We managed to get that little bit of luck late on through the deflection. Martinelli scores the goal, which sent us Schooners into raptures late on.
Good to see Martinelli
minute.
Give him the winner as well, I think.
Returning from injury.
Yeah, big boost for his confidence, and hopefully see him get into a nice little good run of form there. It's awesome. Puts us back into second. Sin behind Spurs there on goal difference, I believe. 1 or 2 goals must be.
I think it's only goals scored.
Goals scored.
2 more goals.
And they've
conceded.
They've had a bloody easy run though,
They've had scored 2 more and conceded 2 more. We're the same on goal difference.
Yeah.
We caught up from that Bournemouth game. But yeah, look, what a win. I suppose it sends not only a message to the Arsenal lads that they can sort of hack it with City. 2 wins over them now this year. Obviously 1 just on penalties, but 2 wins. Hopefully we can kick on, and City might be thinking, shit, 3 losses in a row. Maybe we are human, and maybe 4 in a row isn't as easy as we might have thought it might have been, and we can see another hectic title race. Like you said, Spurs up there, top of the table. They look like they're hanging around for the time being.
I think of them, losing Kane
and doing better,
and not getting a new striker.
Yeah.
Not go out there and get someone.
Son's obviously.
That's a new striker, but
a new striker, but obviously,
it's also now his team. You know what I mean? It's now his team. So, Andrew's come in, taken the reins, done well for them. So yeah, sitting there. So they're sitting top of the table. London is a foot of the Premier League there.
North London,
to be precise. But into an international break.
Yep.
Good news for the Gooners. There's no Saka.
He's pulled out of England,
not in there with the England squad, which is good. So hopefully no other injuries. Over the weekend there. Hopefully we see everyone come back fit and healthy, and into a game up against.
Is it Chelsea?
Do we have a cup game possibly? Chelsea. Then the Champions League, then Sheffield, then it's the cup game. So Chelsea
Sunday won their last 2 games as well. Is that at home for us?
At the Bridge. Sunday 5:30 a.m.
I mean, we've picked up a few wins there over the last few years. Hopefully we can go and do so again. But,
not in the flashes of form either, so they have, what was that? They had a good win.
They had a couple of wins on the bounce there.
Sterling inspired win there, that 4-0. So whether or not we see a performance like that, but they've also had some of these games where they've looked like a mid-table team, So hard to know which Chelsea side you're going to see, but I'm sure they'll be up for a game. Big London derby like that up against us. So hopefully everyone comes back fit and healthy. see a pretty full strength team ideally, but
Fingers crossed.
probably wraps up the round ball. Now, obviously, you know, there's plenty of cup fever going on at the moment. National glory is at stake. We've got 2 World Cups pumping. The Rugby World Cup ready to tick over into some knockout footy, but we did see the last 3 group games happen over the weekend there, and the biggest talking point, shout out to the Portuguese coming up with a huge upset win over the Fijians. And what's probably gone down as one of the most unusual pulls in Rugby World Cup history, I'd say.
Very bizarre, yeah.
Seeing Australia miss out, Fiji beating the Aussies and going through and then losing to Portugal.
And winning the Welsh very close as well.
Who drew with Georgia and could have been Georgia, and if things had gone differently and maybe scored a few more points, could have gone through. Which, imagine that, to go for your second World Cup after originally getting pumped by the All Blacks in your first one in 2007, to go out there for your second ever World Cup and make it through, would have been unreal. But no, as we said before, shout out to the Portuguese lock, putting in the chip and chase. Shout out to their
Crossfield
number 7
chip as well.
I haven't seen that. I've just seen the chip and chase for the try.
And then there was also it might have been their centre, but it was a big bloke in headgear. But their centre was also a big bloke in headgear. But yeah, no, their number 6 punted one clear, so shout out to him as well.
Yeah, no, it's
love to see big men getting their foot on the footy.
Get your boot on it. It's good to see that. And it's unfortunate that we know we can't see the Portuguese there making it into knockout footy, but there is 4 pretty tasty looking matchups to get into. Where we start off, it must be Friday night over there. So Saturday morning for us must be the first game, or would it be
Sunday morning, Monday morning? I think
Sunday morning, Monday morning. Both. So 2
Saturday, Sunday night. Over
2
there.
games on the Saturday, 2 on the Sunday. What are we? Sunday morning?
Sunday morning,
yeah.
8 o'clock kickoff here, up against Ireland. Should be a very juicy game for, I guess, any neutral. Look, the Irish, they've definitely had our number over the last few years. They've beaten us in 5 of the last 8, including coming down here last year and taking away a series win, which, when you consider before those 8 previous internationals, they'd never beaten us before.
Pretty crazy.
Squared things up. Don't think we'll be seeing a repeat of last World Cup where I think we smashed them like 50-0 in the quarterfinal.
No, I don't think it'll be anything like that. It's going to be
a very tough game for the All Blacks. If not, I see the All Blacks as potentially even underdogs in this one, which is a bit bizarre to think. But I'm sure both teams would be pretty desperate to go out there and leave their best on the pitch, on the field, and we'll get a pretty juicy affair. And then the other quarterfinal from, I suppose, that side of the draw, the same teams from the same pools. France take on South Africa.
Another really tasty looking matchup there. Basically, 2 semi-finals for those 2 games, isn't it?
Those may as well be semi-finals because it's like your best 4 teams by far, I think. Pretty casual Union watcher, I must admit, but look, France definitely looked dangerous. South Africa, those 3 teams both pumping the All Blacks in recent weeks, and we obviously know how strong the All Blacks always are, so. Yeah, it's definitely a more stacked side of the draw, but
it's not the side you want to be on, but it is better news for those 4 teams on the other side. You've got Wales, Argentina is one of your other quarterfinals.
Yeah.
So one of those 2 straight into the semi-final there. up against, fingers crossed, Fiji.
Yeah, that would be sick.
It's ideally what happens. Fiji go out there and beat England, which
That would be epic.
happened before the World Cup.
Yeah, like a week before the World Cup.
You know, if we could have, Fiji, Argentina in the semi-final,
Guaranteeing one of them
one of them
spot in the World
makes
Cup
the final.
Could you imagine how
Oh.
loose it would be if Fiji made a World Cup final?
But imagine if Argentina did and they went out there and won it and had the rugby and the football.
Oh, that would be
That's never been done before, surely.
definitely not. Considering England would probably be the only team. France could do it, but they've never won the Rugby World Cup.
So
England would probably be the most likely, I suppose, to be able to do both. But yeah, look, Argentina in recent years have ascended to become a pretty good rugby team.
that would be a cool thing to have, rugby and football.
Yeah, France could definitely do it based on the fact that they're probably the best squad in both rugby and football. But yeah, look, wouldn't mind seeing Argentina as double champions.
Argentina Fiji would be a lovely semi-final. I see that there's lots of talk about opening up new sort of Southern Hemisphere rugby championships.
Even if it's Fiji. Wales that make the final, it'd be alright. I'm not going to be too heartbroken over that. As long as it's not England from that side of the draw, I suppose. But yeah, look, definitely cup fever at the moment. We saw the Cricket World Cup kick off, or
what do we say?
Start.
What were we talking about that last time? Was that cricket as well? We would say, no.
Yeah, first ball rather than kick off. We saw the first ball of the World Cup.
Golden Duck. Were we the first game?
Yeah, we were.
It was a Golden Duck, was it not?
We were bowling.
We were bowling.
Yeah, it wasn't a Golden Duck.
Yeah, correct. We were on the chase, weren't we?
But yeah, it was a huge first up win from the Black Caps. Managing to absolutely pound England into the core of the earth. 9 wickets, almost managing to bowl them out there, and then Devon Conway and Russian Ravindra just made an absolute joke of that total there. 150 not out for Conway. Ravindra 123 not out, both well over a run a ball.
Yeah,
it was great cricket to watch from the Black Caps. Backed it up with another good win as well the other night against the Netherlands. Obviously that one was probably a little bit more routine, I suppose, expected. But 99 runs, a few 50s for the lads. Young bouncing back from his golden duck that you mentioned. Unfortunate against the English, but 70 odd I think he ended with, maybe 69. Ravindra backed up his 100 with a 50.
Good on him.
Latham gets a 50. Mitchell fell just short. Santner tonking a few sixes at the end, and Kane Williamson hasn't even been in the side, so it's good signs all round for the Black Caps. No Tim Southey as well with the broken thumb, but reports that he's healing quite well, so hopefully we can have him for...
Imagine that though, we make 2 finals, and we've lost 2 finals, is that?
We've lost the last 2.
And then to go out there on that third, if we go out there 3 times in a row and then hopefully go one further, it would be awesome. I saw a pretty crazy looking stat today, shared by someone on Facebook, one of those sporting pages, showing the top 5 wicket takers at World Cups for New Zealand. Bolt was first, I believe. Third might have been, can't remember, or 4th and 5th. However, in second, they had listed a dude called Jacob Harris, a dude who plays NFL for the Rams. And I searched, I'd never seen this bloke, and I didn't realise at first that he wasn't wearing cricket gears in this photo. So I just Googled this bloke, Jacob Harris, and he's an NFL legend apparently. Played for the Rams, and I think they might have meant to chuck in Jacob Warren.
Probably Chris Harris.
Chris Harris? You reckon? Yeah. That's possibly.
Or maybe they combine Jacob Warren's and Chris Harris's total into a singular dude.
Into a singular dude to get him in
there. Say, even these two combined wouldn't be the same as Bolty.
Yeah.
But, Santner picked up a 5 for the first Kiwi spinner to pick up a 5 for a World Cup game. So hopefully he can have a big tourney over there in India where your spinners are always important. But I think India will be hard to stop if we are to reach the final. It will possibly be against them. But next up, before we think about any finals, we've got to take on I think Bangladesh and Afghanistan are our next 2 games over the next week. So hopefully we can build some table pressure. Already 2 from 2 with a pretty healthy net run rate. Bangladesh and Afghanistan, surely we can pick up another couple of wins and we can be, like you say, out in front, waiting for others to chase us rather than doing the chasing ourselves from the Black Caps' point of view. But that's probably about it for the cricket. It's tough to stay up all night watching the games when they first ball around 9-10 o'clock.
Yeah, it's not an easy feat.
Catch the highlights in the morning, but actually just a lot of emphasis on the Black Caps. Haven't actually really watched a lot more. Seen some scores, but
I've seen a few scores.
Rohit Sharma smashed 100 in pretty quick time. Can't remember exactly how many balls it was, but it was the fastest by an Indian.
I saw some dude the other day, I believe, either the fastest 50 or fastest century.
By an Indian?
Nah, just
in general.
In general. Like I don't know what the fastest century or 100, I don't think, or 50 was prior to that.
I don't know about 50, but I think the fastest century was A.B. de Villiers.
How many balls?
Fuck all, like 20 something.
This guy might have maybe got him to be the first person into the teens.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Balls.
Something like unreal, apparently. Yeah, like I don't know what, it's one of those 80% stories that I tell sometimes. I don't have the.
There might be a bit of mail.
I don't have the important information that makes the story good.
Yeah.
But this dude basically did something hectic playing cricket. Really.
We love hectic shit.
Hectic shit's always good. Yeah. But no, that probably is it for the cricket. Now, we saw the World Grand Prix wrap up over the last 3 or 4 days in the darting world. We had a final matchup, Gerwyn Price up against Luke Humphries. We saw Gizzy overturn the world champion Michael Smith in the semi, and Humphries put away a pretty poor looking Joe Cullen in his semi, but Luke Humphries far too strong after going out the week before and playing injured and then losing in the final, playing some awesome darts. He was too strong there. He's playing some really solid darts there at the moment, and he's out there winning tournaments, getting some money there for the Order of Merit. So an interesting setup there, the old Grand Prix. As I said, the old double start puts a lot of pressure on a few players. I think you start to miss a few early on, you're out of luck. I'm just having a little look, so I'm not too sure whether or not we've got a break maybe over the next weekend. I'm just checking via the old Neds, it isn't telling me anything. If we go to the old tournament calendar, we did shout out Burko RSA. We did have the Winter Open. A little bit delayed winter, getting into spring, which is sort of nearly feeling like summer, with some of the heat we're getting, We've got the German Open, so a little bit of European Tour action over the weekend. But no, back to Burko, we did have the Winter Open up there over the weekend. Shout out to Monty Tuhua, taking it out on the day. Awesome darts player, old fella. He took out the win, and then H took the win there in the so he made it to the semi in the consolation. We'll take that. We got a nice little 180 and a 4-0 loss in the semi-final. 2 4-0 wins in the knockouts. So not the worst starts. We didn't win any raffles. We didn't win any money on the pokies, unfortunately.
Not as good as last year then.
No, not as good as last year. Coming away with a medal, $50. What was it? A shirt, a dartboard. So no, not as good as last year. But there's always the Spring Open. We'll be coming away with a winners medal there at some stage, I'm sure. But
surely that just can't be too far away. We're
can't be too far away now that we're in
spring.
How many more months of spring we got?
1.5.
Just December,
December, summer.
Yeah, Jesus, what are we today?
12th of
12th of October, yeah, far out, mate. Not long to go until the old, the pumpkins come out. Halloween, and then Jingle Bell Rock starts, pumping out over the airways, and we're into Christmas, so.
And then we're well and truly into the thick of things.
Yeah, shit, we are by that stage. Hopefully come, the second half of spring, that old bloody sewage leak gets sorted out across the ridge, get back in the water. I'm overdue a swim, that's for sure. That's probably it from us, as always. If you've made it this far, thank you for tuning in, listening, watching, however you may do. Remember to give us a like, a 5-star, give us a comment, a subscription on all your socials. Enjoy your week ahead. Enjoy whatever forms of national glory you may be trying to sink your teeth into over the next week. If you're having a punt, do so responsibly, and hopefully we'll see you here next week.
Yep, sounds good to me. And remember to vote.
Get your own stickers out.
Marshall skips away. Marshall's still going. Marshall's got Richards coming up outside. Now inside.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing.
Bennett and the Dragons win the grand final.
Whips that one away, and Kane Williamson and his team now World Test champions.